I'm Courtney Matlick with Stahl's Cad-Cut Direct. With Halloween just around the corner, now is the time to begin offering custom t-shirts, sweatshirts, and even costumes for the holiday. Today we're going to get a little bit creative in decorating a sweatshirt with glow-in-the-dark finishes for Halloween. For this we'll be using the vinyl cutter, the heat press, and Cad-Cut Glow. Let's get started. I've already loaded my Cad-Cut Glow heat transfer material. Now I'll send my design to cut. The design we've cut and are about to weed is a full body skeleton design that's going to cover the entire sweatshirt. Because the design's so large, I'm going to go ahead and trim it apart so it makes it easier for me to weed. I'm going to start by weeding the center of the design that's going to go down on the body of the skeleton on the shirt. Now that I have the body done, I'll work on doing the arms of the sweatshirt. The nice thing about this artwork is there's not a whole lot of cavities for me to go back and pick through, so it's easy for me to weave with this glow material. Now that my designs have both been weeding, I can go ahead and prepare them for heat application. Since the design we've created is larger than our 16 by 20 heat press, we're going to be pressing it in 3 separate applications. I'm going to load my garment on first and preheat the whole thing to remove any moisture and wrinkles. I want to make sure to preheat both sides of the garment since the design is going to cover the full thing. For lining this up, I'm going to go ahead and line up my sweatshirt on the platen like I normally would to center my design. I want to start by getting the center of the neckline up to where the center of the sweatshirt is. And then I'm going to pull the sweatshirt over a little bit so that I'm going to get a full pressure on this whole side. I'm going to be heat pressing at 305 degrees for the recommended 10 to 15 seconds to get a full application on the right side. Now that application is finished, I'm just going to go ahead and slide over the other part of my design that hasn't been hit yet with the application and follow through again with another 10 seconds at 305 degrees. You'll notice there's a center part of my design that's actually going to be hit twice, and that's okay. It won't ruin the design or ruin the vinyl at all. I'm just going to give it a little bit longer application. Once I have my full design complete, I can peel the entire design. The last part to the body of my design is actually going to be the bottom of the skeleton. So I'm just going to go ahead and place this down on the design. Looks like it's going to line up just above the seam on the bottom of my sweatshirt, so that'll be a perfect fit. Again, I want to cover to protect this design from sticking to the heat press, and heat press for the full recommended 10 seconds. Now that I have the front of my design complete, I'm going to start with the arms to finish the body up. The arms are actually going to place in the center holes here, so I want to make sure I'm going to go over the seams. I want to make sure I have accurate pressure with the glow material. So for this, I'm going to be using a heat printing pillow. I'm going to just load it into my garment through the neckline here since it's a little bit wider on this sweatshirt. And I'm going to make sure it places where the seam is and also where my design is going to fall on the sweatshirt. The nice thing about the glow-in-the-dark material is it has a sticky carrier on it. So I'm able to kind of position this in place. I don't have to worry about it shifting around in the application or anything like that. Again, I'm going to have to do this application in 2 hits. So I want to go ahead and do my first hit over the seam here. And I'm just going to slide my pillow down a little bit to get to the bottom of my arm. Again, another 10 seconds, 305 degrees. Can hot peel away the carrier. And then I can take my pillow out and do the other arm. Again, I'm just going to load this pillow into where I think the arm is going to fit in onto the body of the design and make sure it's down where my design is going to be. Place my arm in the armhole here on the skeleton. I'm going to shift my pillow just a little bit to make sure it's getting accurate pressure. Perfect. A little bit of exposed glow material here at the top, so I'm just going to cover to make sure it doesn't stick to the heater. 10 seconds on this first application. We'll rotate the pillow and do the last 10 seconds. And this material is a hot peel, so I just got to peel this final carrier, and we have a completed design. So there you have it, a little creativity in the application and in the design, and you can begin creating Halloween-inspired designs with glow-in-the-dark finishes. To learn more on the Cad-Cut materials you saw here, visit us online at cadcutdirect.com.
Happy Halloween!